I'm going to mute until you need me to unmute.
All right. I'll give it about, like I said, we always get people to jump on about 5 minutes into it. So we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting.
They're across the street now. Yeah, well, it works fast at what they're using. Cleaned it off already.
All righty, guys, welcome. I appreciate everybody joining in. It looks like we still have a few people coming on. So hello, Jack, Tina, Andrea, Mark, Danielle, Brandy. All right, guys. So for obviously those that I don't see that are not on video, obviously I can't see a thumbs up. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. So so you can either put it into the chat that you can hear me, so I can make sure that you guys are connected. So cool. Thanks, Andrea. Jack, can you hear me? Thumbs up. You just put your thumbs up if you can see it. See it. Cool. Thanks, Brandy. I know, Polly, you can hear me, right? Mark, can you hear me? He's probably looking for the thumbs up into it. All right, Daniel, can you hear me? Now, guys, you guys can actually unmute yourself. I've got everybody muted for this class. So like I said, first and foremost, I'm going to unmute everybody because I want to find out exactly what you guys know and what you guys want to learn out of this class, so I can make sure I can focus on the main things that you guys want to learn or what you're expecting to learn from this class. So I can focus on the stronger points of it and not so much on the other ones, because there's a lot of data when it comes to video marketing. So go ahead and unmute yourself really quickly and tell me individually. Let's start with you, Polly. What is it that you're hoping to get out of it?
I'm just because I'm studying this right now, so I want to just get a system for moving forward with scripts and ideas for producing video.
Okay. All right. What about you, Jack? What would you like to get out of this class, or what would you like to learn today on regards to video?
I would just like to learn the basics because I haven't been using a video at all, and I want to start using it. So I'm at ground zero.
Perfect. A lot of us are going to be at ground zero, so don't feel too bad. So Tina, what about you?
I'm just like him. I'm on ground zero. I just want to learn more about, all the marketing and stuff.
Perfect. Thank you. Andrea?
I do some video already, but I'd like to learn more about, I guess, content and like what is better content to send out so that it engages more people.
Okay. All right. What about you, Glenn? All right, Mark. What do you want to learn on video? All right, Brandy?
Basics. I have no expectations. I'm at the hair shop just waiting for my hair to get done.
All of the above.
All right, Glenn's all the above. All right, Lily, what about you? Lily? All right, so some people log in and disappear on us. No problem. So what I'm gonna do is, so just to kind of give you a background of me. So I've been doing video, gosh, for probably 6 years, 7 years. I actually did a radio show back in the days on 1510 and 1450 AM. Actually, Mark Halberton and I did a radio show. And how I got into video is because I wanted to bring video to radio, right? And I remember doing a live video show way back in the days on a public television, and it worked really well for lead generation. So I wanted to bring our radio show to light, and that was about 6 or 7 years ago. And then, of course, things happened with my current employer that employer at the time. So I literally went from radio to true video, and then I saw the value in video. And so, and that's kind of what took me from literally, 5, 6 years ago doing video all the way to today. And what was interesting was I talked to a lot of different people 5 years ago about how video is going to take our whole industry by storm. And what's interesting is 5 years now, look at how many people are posting videos. Now, are they doing it right, wrong, or indifferent? That's a conversation we're going to have. And what's interesting is video is so much more prominent today. And it could have been prominent, obviously, 5 years ago. But obviously, the people that tried video back 5 years ago that I even talked to didn't stick with it because they felt like it wasn't the thing, right? It wasn't the item that's going to, to push their business forward. Well, what's interesting is, again, look at how many businesses today are using video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share kind of my screen also, and we're going to go through and I'll unshare and kind of talk about products as we go along, tactics, tricks, those kind of things as we move. Now, feel free to, like I said, unmute yourself, ask a question, right? This is interactive. I want you guys to get as much out of this as we can in the next 45 minutes to an hour. There is a lot of content. There is going to be some things that may or may not actually make sense to you, or it might, like I said, it's a little, depending on the level of experience. So again, in the last 5 years, I've done a lot of different research based on green screens, lighting, audio, camera systems. I've owned several different camera systems. A lot of what I'm going to post and show you, I probably have owned and I've used. So I've got a lot of experience across the board. A lot of the audio that I've posted, I've utilized also. Lighting techniques. I've taken classes. Like, this was kind of my niche. This is my forte. And the other thing about video is it's my passion. So I love it. It's something I love doing. And I'm also a real estate agent. So I understand what you guys do, for a living, because I do it right along with you. So it's the same concept. So I understand how we use it in our business. So that will obviously hopefully help you guys understand how you can utilize it in the same business, right? So let me share my screen really quick and make sure that you guys all can see it. All right, so I'm assuming that you guys all can see this. If you can't see it where it says video marketing for today, please unmute yourself and let me know you're not seeing it, but I'm hoping that everybody sees it. So what we're gonna learn today is we're gonna talk about cameras, a couple different cameras, systems that you can buy and utilize, lighting, the style, different types of lighting you can utilize and purchase, sound, what sound to potentially use depending on your environment, even some editing software, right? Because we all wanna make some pretty cool videos when they're all said and done. There's a lot of different editing platforms that we'll discuss a little bit about. 3D video, obviously that's up and coming. If not, that's going to be probably the next craze. Virtual reality, that's definitely the next craze going forward. So we're going to touch base a little bit on that. We won't dig super deep into it because, like I said, that might overwhelm a lot of us on here today, but we'll discuss it. So if you guys have questions on that, feel free to reach out. The other thing we're going to talk about is why video in a nutshell, right? Why should we use video? Where to post? Why you should post, right? Why you should be posting your videos to social media and other platforms. How to post. A lot of people are wondering how do they post, to social media or to their websites and those kind of things. And then using video to create leads, right? The idea is how do we generate more lead opportunities by utilizing our video systems, right? So that's kind of what we're going to go through today with a little bit of intricacies going in and out. So again, like I said, if you guys have questions, unmute yourself and ask the question, okay? So first and foremost, I'm just going to go through some of the different products. So obviously 3D is kind of the latest and greatest right now. 3D cameras, like the one that's showing right now is a 360. It's a live stream camera. This is one of the reasons why I bring it to your attention, because right now 3D, everybody, we're all used to Matterport, right? And Matterport is kind of it allows you for the virtual walkthroughs, the three-dimensional effects, but it's not live stream. So it's, somebody goes out and has to create that video. Whereas the 3D video, the one on the left, right, this one right here, this one can actually be put on a stick and literally be walked through a home doing a live stream, let's say with a client, or just if you want to post it live stream, literally at an open house, you can actually use this camera as a live stream system, right? And then of course, the last but not least is your virtual reality, which is your goggles. I'm sure we've all seen, the virtual reality goggles, which makes a big difference when it comes to, immersing yourself, like if you're inside or you were there. And that's, like I said, that's kind of the craze that everything I think is moving forward to. And mark my words, in about, probably I'd say less than 2 years, you're going to see a ton of the virtual reality concept utilized, especially in the real estate field, along with other different industries. So a lot of people ask me, again, why video? And so that's why I bring up this next slide. And it's really interesting is when you really think about why video is, I kind of brought the way our minds work, right? So I'm just going to kind of read this to give you kind of some baseline of why video is going to be important moving forward. Like it says, for this, let's reference an expert which is a real PhD level expert, Susan Weinstrick. She's a PhD, also known as the Brain Lady. So she's done a lot of articles, written a lot of books about the brain and how it operates. And she's also a leading speaker. But what she more or less, she's uncovered 4 core, very human reasons why we're drawn to video. Number one, the fusiform facial area makes us pay attention to faces, right? And so this is an actual brain function that is hardwired. And so we want to see, right? We listen to a lot of audio stuff, but when we see stuff, we very much we start watching. So it gathers points of information based on how our facial expressions are, right? Voice conveys rich information. Obviously, we need voice. We need to hear what's going on. So yes, the simple sound of human voice speaking to us has an amazing way of converting information. Then, of course, emotions are contagious. And it's no different than why people go smile, because it's contagious, right? Smile and others will smile. Laugh and others will laugh. And frown and others will frown, right? Because that's why it's so contagious. But that's how, again, how we build trust, right? Is based on why we as human beings and why we as real estate agents know that our position won't leave us, because we are required when we're actually dealing with our clients face to face. Movement grabs attention, right? So when we talk about movement, it's our hand gestures, right? Our face, our mouth, our body language, everything that moves within the video makes a big impact on why people, again, watch. So I always ask people, when you're scrolling through, let's say Facebook, right? And you come across an article and a video, which one are you more likely going to do? Are you going to read the article or watch the video? Again, they've actually done studies that say about 83% of people will watch a video over reading an article. And that's, again, because of an entertainment factor also. They feel like they're getting entertained, plus they get to visualize what's going on, which our perception of what's going on is retained at a higher level. So that's, again, why video is very more important than actually like writing articles or, or anything that's on an auditory standpoint, because we don't see it, we just hear it. So stats really quick, because this is also very important. Stats are pretty dynamic right now. So 84% of all internet traffic in 2020 will be video. 84% of internet traffic is going to be some sort of video communication. Obviously, right now we're using a lot of Zoom. That's a video format, right? Right now we're using Zoom. That's a video format. 62% of marketing professionals worldwide name video as the type of content with the best return of investment, which is true. They've actually tracked open rates on email campaigns with video and those kind of things. And it's a higher rate of return when you're utilizing video. Video is a preferred communication style for customers. We're definitely seeing it more today than we've ever seen it before. Using the word video in a subject line of an email will create your open rates by almost 49% just by putting video in your tagline for your email campaigns. Obviously, B2B and B2C marketers worldwide name video as a top 3 most effective social media marketing tool. I think I don't know that I have to really explain that, because you get onto any social media platform and you can have 3/4 of what you're scrolling is all video, right? 65% of tablet owners, so people that own tablets, watch more than 1 hour of video per day on their device. So amazingly, they're on their tablets watching videos at least a minimum of 1 hour. So 65% of us watch an hour, again, per day. So it's probably even higher than that in all reality, but that's the statistics that they pull. So the power of video, and that's why I put, when life has no movement, it becomes lifeless, which is the true fact. All right, cameras. So a lot of people, they're like, you know what, I can't afford cameras, they're really expensive. So, and that is true. You can absolutely spend thousands and thousands of dollars on your camera system, okay? So first and foremost, I wanted to show you kind of the 3 platforms of cameras that you can potentially use. Now, there's always different dynamics all the way through this range, but this really kind of gives you the basic platform. So you have more like this Canon HD. This is a high definition run and gun shoot. This is actually what filmmakers a lot of times will use. I've actually owned this camera, and I've actually used this camera for many different types of formats. But what I realized is for the $1,400 or $1,500 I spent on it, I didn't need that for what I was doing. So of course I got rid of it and I bought a DSLR. DSLR worked really well because I was able to take photos of things I was doing. It also allowed me to do video. The problem with the DSLR is it caps you out based on the length of video that you record. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way that the DSLRs are made. So you can only I think it's only a maximum And some of them are only 23 minutes and some of them can go up to 45, but that's it. If you want to shoot a longer than 45-minute video, you're not going to be able to do that. Then of course, ta-da, the reason why I like this is because almost everybody now has a smartphone, right? So either a Droid, an iPhone, some kind of smartphone that has a phenomenal camera system and video system, high definition. This is about what 90% of us are using for video, right? And this is what I use for video, actually. So amazingly, this is what we're going to talk about a lot today, okay? Because number one, do any of you really want to, no matter where you stand in your video content, do you guys want to spend $1,500 on a camera? Or even a DSLR is like probably $500 or $600 depending on the lens that you buy, and you can be easily into the $1,000 also. Obviously, iPhones can get up there and pretty expensive also, but we all need a phone and it's a multi-device, right? So we all have a smart device, right? So we're going to be talking a lot about how to utilize our iPhone or our Droid phone, smartphone device for our video needs going forward. Oops. So lighting. So lighting is super, super important when it comes to video presentations, right? Because what you want to do is you want to make sure that your face is definitely lighted properly. Because if it's not, people can't see your facial expressions, and it comes back down to the audio format, right? It's all about that relationship building, that trust factor that we're trying to do when it comes to having conversations with clients. So what happens a lot of times is if you can use natural light, by all means. Like for me, I'm sitting in front, you know, my window's facing me right now, and as you might see, every once in a while my lights will shut off and all I have is the light of the windows. But that's, again, I'm trying to use as much natural light as I possibly can. If there isn't that ability, the other thing you guys don't want to do is kind of like what it states, is if you're indoors, do not, and this happens a lot, because we think because of the backdrop, you know, I'm on the fourth floor, or you have a great sunset, right? You think that that's going to be captured in a camera, and it's not. So don't think that you're going to be captured unless you have a DSLR, or you can adjust your aperture rate, which then slows down the way that it takes a picture, and then you might be able to get some of the backdrop involved. But again, that's pretty techy. So I don't want to get too involved in that. Do not stand in front of a window when you're doing video, okay? Or even take photography, because you're going to see exactly what my example is, you know, on my shared screen. So that's going to be the importance, is do not stand in front of like I said, a window or a door. Stand and put your back to it, or I'm sorry, put your back away from it and utilize that light if you can. If you can't, then get away from that source, because that will actually ruin your video going forward. Okay. The other thing too is, as you see behind me, right, is a light ring. So that goes back down to light ring. Now this actually, if you're doing, you know, like I said, very educational videos or anything to that extent, you can use a light ring, and that will actually give you, and you can adjust the lighting, and that will give you a very even light across your face, right? But you don't have anything in the backdrop, generally speaking. It's literally where you're doing a video of only your face, neck up, et cetera, et cetera. It's greatly used when you're, like I said, when you're doing educational videos, or you don't have a backdrop that you really want to utilize, okay? So that's one piece that you can definitely do. Like I said, they actually have kits that you can actually buy for your phone that literally mount on, and then you can mount and actually what they call a mini ring light that you can also use, you know, with your iPhone. So you don't actually necessarily have to buy a big, ring, for your home, and you can take it, traveling with you. The next one is, as you see behind me, if you see in the small picture, since I'm sharing my screen, is again a softbox lighting. Softbox lighting is probably the most common, along with LED, what I'm going to call LED softbox lighting, but it's really just an LED box with a whole bunch of LED lights that are adjustable. It's the same concept. The only problem, I like LEDs preferably because they don't get hot, right? Whereas these are your typical bulbs with a cover, and if you're in a small room and enclosed, you can definitely heat up the room quite exponentially. And then of course everybody's sweating and it gets miserable. So if you don't have, and I've learned that the hard way many times when I've been in a small room and I've been locked in with, again, softbox lighting, and all of a sudden the temperature rises, 4 or 5 degrees, and you're like, it gets a little hot. And we all get cranky when we get hot. So also interview lighting. So this is probably the most common or the most popular right now lighting style. And you can use ultimately really a lot of different lighting factors to do this. I can, and it's really is bringing, kind of like the picture shows, is it brings more light on one side, and you kind of darken and blur out the back, you know, so it's going to be based on how you focus with your camera, right? But it's really more of they call it interview lighting, to where it's more light on one side and less light on the other. And it's just and that's why I kind of presented a way that you can have a little bit light in the, you know, right in the back, just to reflect the back, so it's not dark or black. So it gives some kind of lighting, but really very soft lighting and very light lighting. And then again, you're going to have lighting coming in from one side. And you might have a little bit of lighting coming in from the back or the other side, but usually not very much. So it just depends on you'll have to play with it with your lighting, but really you could almost get away with 1, maybe 2 lights, depending on the time of day that you do it. But that's common. So if you're going to do an educational video, you're going to do, again, an about me video, you're going to do even a video testimonial. This is a very common style, and it looks really professional. It looks very sleek when it's done. I'm sure we've all seen it. So any questions on any of that stuff so far? All right. All right, so sound production. So number one thing is sound is probably one of the most important things that you guys are going to need to utilize. A lot of people go, well, video quality is the most important. Actually, that is incorrect. They, again, have done studies that if you watch a video and you can't hear it, the likelihood that you're going to continue watching that video is unlikely. However, if you can hear a video really well, and even though it might be granular, you still might watch the video more so than if you would watch a video if you didn't have very good sound, right? Because we still want to understand what's going on in the video. But so the video quality is not as important as audio quality is, okay? So going through this, so these are all things that potentially can connect right to your phone system. So I'm going to really quickly stop the share, and I'm going to share a couple things. So first and foremost, I've got a boom mic, right? And the cool thing about it is, so in my video room, I've got this it's a Saramonic Smart Rig. And this allows me to plug in any mics into literally my iPhone, because I got the iPhone adapter, right? So this plugs right into my iPhone, and I can control based on the 2 controls, right? The 2 controls right there, and then you can see the top. I can plug in 2 regular mics, and I can plug in like this, and I can plug in a hand mic, I can plug in a wireless mic. So it gives me a lot more control. Now, like I said, you don't necessarily need all this stuff unless you're designing a room. This was something like 65 bucks, right? A boom mic, the cool thing is I got this boom mic, which was actually highly rated. It was like something like $35. So like I said, it all depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it. Now, this is a little bit more advanced than you really even need, right? But this is something that if you want to set up, let's say, you know, you have your home office and you just want, everything's going to stay in its place. You know, a lot of times the video room, whatever, I have this literally above me, out of picture, right? And then I just turn this on and all my mic system works, okay? Now I don't have it hooked up because I wanted to show you guys. So like I said, you can use, there's all kinds of adapters that you can plug in multiple mics, or like I said, you can just use the adapter. And a lot of them you can buy, like for my iPhone, you have an adapter that literally gives you the lightning port to this, right? And so then I can just plug it right into my phone. And it gives me the dongle, which then from there, you can then use the next, which is like a wired mic, a lapel mic. I use this a lot because it's got 50 feet, and then I can hide it, and I can put it in here, put it underneath my jacket, and then I can literally plug the end of it, which is this, right into there. And then that gives me, again, a wired mic. And that's how you will actually connect a wireless mic at the same time. So that's one of the reasons why audio is very important, no matter if you're doing an open house. Because I'm sure you've probably watched a lot of these open house videos, right? Where the audio is horrible. It's either, you know, you're hearing a lot of background, or it's very tinny, or it's like they're standing too far away from, again, their phone or their camera, and you can barely hear them. So that's where you're going to detract people from watching your videos, because they can't hear you. So like I said, either get a wireless mic, a wired mic, or some sort of mic that you can use on the go. And that goes back to the 3 mics that I was sharing my screen with. So let me reshare it real quick. So again, so you have the IQ6 quality interview mic. Now this one actually plugs in, as you can see it, through your lightning port for an iPhone. They also have it for a Droid, but this is a very high end. I think this unit is about $99, but this one has a very high quality omnidirectional mic system. So you can literally put it on your phone, put it on a tripod, right? And then you can actually you don't necessarily have to have a lapel mic because you're in an enclosed environment. The boom mic can be the same way. Now the boom mic can be actually outdoors also, because there is a cover, a kind of a styrofoam cover to eliminate some of the sound rustling of wind and or back noise. So boom mic can also be used externally. And then the wireless lapel mic is probably one of my favorites. So this one connects the same way right through the port in your camera or on your phone, right? And it's a little pack that literally you can put in your pocket. So the phone can be set up on a tripod with a little pack. You have the wireless pack in your pocket with a lapel mic, and now you can walk all over the whatever. If you have somebody holding the camera, you can be walking through the home, or you can be out front on a tripod, whatever you want to do, but now you're wireless, so you're not necessarily controlled by wires. So that's one of my favorites is using a wireless mic system, but any one of those would actually work. I highly recommend you guys get a mic for your phones if you're going to do any kind of video, because again, I think you're going to experience where unless you're in an enclosed environment where it's the sound is controlled, your audio is going to dwindle very quickly, because our iPhones just don't have the best audio. They have great cameras, but they just don't have the best audio. Never have, and they probably never will. Not to say that they will down the road, but we'll see how it goes. You guys have any questions on, again, mic systems? Okay. All right, so video editing. So a lot of people are like, well, I can record the video, but how do I X, right? So there could be a separate class in regards to how to video edit going forward, but I'm not going to necessarily jump into it. So I rated these software programs that I've used all three of them, and I've used it based on ease of use, but all the way up to robust. So iMovie obviously is usually a free app. You can upgrade it. It gives you a little bit more flexibility of items. But iMovie is probably the most simplest way to edit a video, right? Or a program like that if you have a Droid. So it's literally, it's a drag and drop. You drag a couple, maybe an audio, file, whatever, and then you hit produce and it's done. So they even have basic templates that you can utilize and create your own videos. The templates are limited again, so you'll be using a lot of the same templates over and over and over. However, the upgraded version does give you a few extra templates, but like I said, it's not the most robust system, but it is very easy to use. So it's pretty much designed for beginners, on-the-fly users. So that was probably the one that I would say, or something to that extent, start out with. The next software is one I actually use all the time, which is, again, Cyberlink Power Director. Now, the great thing about this one is it gives me a ton of options, a lot of editability, a lot of flexibility. This is what allows me to create a lot of my videos and a lot of my customizations. And it's only now, again, iMovie's free, and I think the upgraded version I think is $19.99, so you can actually spend 20 bucks. The Power Director Ultimate is actually about $129, but it definitely gives you, it's a little more techy. It's not too bad. It really is still user friendly, but again, it takes a little bit of understanding how a editing software works, right? Of how to layer systems and how to pull in verbiage, et cetera, et cetera. Adobe Professional is actually a pro grade type editing software. That one's very much, that one actually overwhelms me, and I'm a tech guy. I have used it. It's pretty cool, but man, I could spend a whole day trying to edit a video, and it turns out great. But at the end of the day, I can do almost the same based on my skill set with Power Director Ultimate. So, like I said, for the cost, that's like $4.99. They do have a monthly a monthly service where you can be a member and you can get it that way. Okay. So now let's talk about how do we do videos, right? Because I think we've kind of came to a conclusion that we're going to use our phones, right? And so one of the things that I see all the time is camera position. Now, 90% of us always, again, want to do the camera above because we feel like that's a better shot. It's not a better shot for me because I'm losing hair. So obviously I like the straightforward because, again, nobody likes a shot from underneath because they feel like it makes them look fat. So, but a camera above model obviously makes also people look shorter. So keep that in mind, depending on what you're trying to do and how you're trying to shoot. Camera eye level is going to give you a normalcy of how everything looks around that person and at that person's height and visual aesthetics, right? Camera waist levels now starts making people look a little bit taller. It also gets a little bit different angle based on shadowing too. You got to be careful. And then at knee level, of course, you're definitely getting everything going up. So it makes it look very slender, but very tall. And depending on if you're trying to capture something above, that's usually not necessarily the recommended shooting preference, right? So like I said, usually I don't recommend above because it makes you look small, but that's how a lot of people shoot it. So really at eye level is probably, like I said, when you're shooting it, just above eye level is probably the best way to shoot video. And same with photography, right? About eye level or a little bit above eye level. So if you can, like I said, some tripods don't allow you to go that high. And so you got to also look for different tripods that might allow you to, again, extend the neck and give you a better shot at eye level, depending on how tall you are. All right, so camera panning and tilting. This is something that we've all seen and I think is very important to understand, right? So too many times, because when you're taking the video, it seems forever when we're taking a video, right? So when we're walking through a home, when we're doing really anything with video, you probably have noticed a lot of people are very quick. So, you know, they're like, oh, check this out. This is really cool, right? And they're going up and down and they're doing all kinds of things. The problem is that makes us sick. So we literally go, whoa, you know, it's like, and we didn't even catch anything because it was so fast. Even though it didn't seem fast to us because we're recreating the video, you have to slow down. So think about it in your pan, go very slow, potentially even a 10-second, right? You know, walk through. And I think that's, you know, that's where, you know, can be very much important. So, and then same with up and down. So like if you're trying to get, you know, the front of their house or something like that, don't go fast, right? You literally want to allow people to start processing the information that they're seeing. So you want to definitely go 10 seconds potentially, right? Depending on the area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? That's actually fast to somebody watching the video. That's going to seem like forever for us taking the video. But keep in mind, we're doing this for the viewer and not for ourselves. You guys have any questions with that part of it?
No.
Pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
Good. All right, so let's get into the social media. So I think a lot of us, you know, are trying to post on social media. We're trying to figure out videos. So now we've kind of got an idea, right? Go into your video. You know, I think what we want to do, there's actually, before I jump into social media, is I want to go into here, the position of your camera, right? So I think too many times, how many people take videos this way, right? Versus this way. So as my example is, we take a lot of pictures this way, but as you can see, you have a lot of black on each side when you're taking that video. So you're cutting a lot of what they're trying to view off because of the way you're taking the video. It's no different than why our big screen TVs are this way and not this way, right? It's because we want as much of the pictures we can see possible. So what I highly recommend is you want to do your video this way, okay? Because it's just like, again, recording and, you know, if you're going to do high def and you're going to do it based on the amount of what you're going to capture, you want to be able to allow the viewer to see as much as possible. And I see it too many times when people walk in and do it this way, right? And you're barely seeing anything of the house. And so people just end the video and move on. Okay, so social media, why, what, and how? So social media is a very important factor of posting video. So here's the reason why. So Facebook, they have over 2.6 billion active users monthly. 2.6 billion, right? So you got to imagine that. We've talked about, you know, when you actually post a video and someone likes and shares, that's why you always get people for a call to action. And we'll talk a little bit more about call to action. But what you want to do is in your videos, you do definitely want to create either in your taglines or in your video a call to action, right? That's why you sometimes will give teasers. Hey, if you want more information, call me, right? Call me is, you know, a call to action. Or hey, click below, subscribe. These are all call to actions. And this is something you want to do because this allows you to track the data that's going through, right? And this is what creates the lead opportunities for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all these social media platforms that you should be posting to, right? YouTube. Now, a lot of people don't use YouTube, amazingly. And I mean, I'm sure I could ask all you guys, actually, how many of you use YouTube? Anybody? So I'm going to assume with a 0 comment that nobody is using YouTube. So YouTube, they have 1.8 billion users every month. So they're catching up to Facebook. Yet, but very few of us actually use YouTube. So it's creating a channel on YouTube, right? Posting your videos to YouTube, just like if you're posting your videos to social media. Now, I get some people actually will post them to YouTube and share that to Facebook. Now, different algorithms will do different things. Now, the reason why I highly recommend YouTube is because YouTube is owned by Google. And everybody's heard about Google AdWords, right? And about, again, Google makes YouTube priority in your search engine results. So if you notice when you search something, you always see, like a lot of times, a YouTube video about what you're searching for, first and foremost, because they make it priority because they own the company, right? They own YouTube. So that's another reason why you should be creating a YouTube account and posting to YouTube based on your listings, educational videos, about me, your content driven, about the market, whatever it is, it should be on YouTube, okay? Instagram, they have over 1 billion users per month. So are you starting to see kind of why we should be posting to social media? And I know a lot of us go, social media is a waste of time. It can be. It can suck the life out of us if we allow it to, right? The idea is to get on, post, and get off. Don't get on, watch videos, don't see what's going on in the world, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to suck you dry based on time, and time is money. The idea is to get on, post whatever you're going to post, whatever content it is, whatever video you want to post, and get off, okay? And does anybody know how many times that you guys should post a day? The same video or the same content?
To post at least once a day?
Once a day, okay. I know Polly knows the answer, so let's see if she remembers. Polly, do you remember the answer? Mark, Brandy, any of you guys know the answer?
3 or 4 times a day.
Okay, what about you, Jack? How many?
I believe it's also 2 or 3.
Okay, so you guys are right. A minimum of 3 times a day. So, and that seems a lot, right? We're all shaking our head like, oh my gosh, that's forever. So there are software companies out there that can actually take a lot of that management away from you in regards to posting on your behalf, and you can schedule, morning, afternoon, and evening on that specific post. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, but if I post in the morning, why would I want to post in the afternoon and evening? Can anybody answer that question?
Different people are on different times a day.
Somebody's listening in my class. So yes, that is correct, Polly. Perfect. So think about it. So if we go online right now, are we online in the afternoon and the evening? There's a good chance that we may or may not be online, right?
Correct.
So if we post in the morning, the people in the morning will see that post, but there's a good chance that the people that logged in the afternoon will never see that post, or especially in the evening, will never see the post. The only time that they will see that post is if somebody has shared and liked it, and it's, for some reason it's tracking and continue to share and like going forward. So that's one of the reasons why you can post it. You could probably post it 10 times, and you'd probably most likely not get anybody responding about, why do you keep posting this all day long, right? Because again, unless that person's on social media all day long, they're never going to see that post. Because if you think about it, post something, wait 2 minutes, and then go back onto your feed and see if you can find it. You'll have to scroll and scroll and scroll before you see your post. So just keep that in mind. So that's why we say minimum of 3 times, so that you're hitting the morning people, the afternoon people, and potentially the evening people at a minimum, okay? So like I said, it can be very overwhelming because you think it's 3 times a day, every day, that's a lot of time. You got to put it in your calendar to just, lunchtime, it takes you 2 minutes literally to click, share, or, click, add, and then you're done and get off. If you can do it, that's going to be your most. Now remember, the reason we want to do this is because we want to hit as many people as we can and get people to like and share, because out of 2.6 billion people, and if I post it to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn, I'm hitting, I have the option of hitting 8 billion, 4, 5, 6 billion people. Now I'm not going to hit everybody, of course, but if I get 6 billion people options, I'm going to hit a lot more people than just by going towards with one time post. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. Eric, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hey, question for you.
Shoot.
Yeah. Have you ever used a service in the past to help you with, loading those different time frames? I know Hootsuite, I think, was one that I read about some time ago, that you can contract them and, they'll upload those at different time frames, I think, to all channels. Have you used any of those services in the past?
Yeah. So actually I have used Hootsuite. Now, it's been a little while since I've used I've used Hootsuite. But one of the key things that you want to make sure on Hootsuite is when I was using it, they were posting the same video style across the board. The problem that we know is like Instagram, you have to do a shorter version of the video or cut it shorter, right? Because Instagram is more quick and sweet, whereas you can post a longer video on Facebook. LinkedIn, you can post as long as you want. Also, YouTube obviously is long, but Instagram is a little bit different type of platform than Facebook and LinkedIn and all the other sites that you potentially could post. So, but like I said, if you want to post to potentially Facebook, I think YouTube and LinkedIn, I believe you can use Hootsuite to post to all those all the time. And then maybe you just have to post individually to Instagram, so it's a smaller, shorter version of that video.
But obviously, ideally, you want to just really design each video, edit each video to a point where it can go each platform to its best fit those dimensions for that platform.
Right. And so, and based on timeline, I think that's where the importance of that is you really don't want to do longer than no more than a 3-minute video. And what I always recommend is even the shorter, the better. Sometimes people we want to give a whole bunch of information, and that may not be the right way to do it. Sometimes I just go, give a little bit of tidbit, but make multiple videos that you can post. This one in the morning, this one in the afternoon, this one later, and you now have 3 or 4 or 5 that you can post on a regular basis, right? So it could be a 45-second tidbit, like, hey, did you know this? For more information, give me a call, right? Did you know Prop 60 does this? Did you know, the tax rate of, Orange County is this? Did you know the appreciation value of blah, blah, blah is this? Did you know, I think you get my point. So you can do very smaller clippets, which is going to be more advantageous for you than doing a longer video, because their attention span is about 15 seconds, they say. So if you don't capture my attention within the first 10 to 15 seconds, I will eliminate myself from the video.
Hey, Eric,
All right.
it's Polly. One thing I want to mention that is available to people in normal times is the Genius Bar at any Apple. They do all kinds of free classes for video editing that are amazing. You just sign up in the Genius Bar. I don't know if they're running the classes right now, but I've taken them in Fashion Island instead of in the iPhone stores. And they're really beneficial. They show you all the things that you can do with your iPhone.
Yeah, so there's a ton of classes. I always highly recommend Google. I mean, Google is amazing. Like if you want to Google iMovie, how to use iMovie, and there's so many videos out there of how to literally, create a video, edit a video, tips and tricks, all the cool stuff. So like that's how I've learned a lot of stuff over the years is I've Googled it because there's somebody else that's better than me, right? I'm going to learn from them versus me spending hours and hours trying it. I will Google and watch a video and literally just do the walkthrough side by side. And that's how I've learned a lot of different things in regards to it. So I highly recommend you doing that for sure. Yeah, and there's all kinds of classes you can take. It's just a matter of taking them. So that's why I take classes via like Google. So that's a lot of what I do. So, all right, so let's go into.
Eric, I got a follow-up question that I'd like to ask real quick here. Kind of back to the editing, but it kind of fast forward to what we're doing here. Have you ever used the services like Fiverr or anybody through that services that you could actually send them? If your goal is to get 2 to 3 videos out a week, for example, short videos, 30, 45, 1 minute, have you ever used a firm or somebody from Fiverr or some of those other services out there that will edit those things for you, and you can actually request, hey, I need, one for Google, I need one for Facebook, I need one for IG, I need one for YouTube and LinkedIn. Have you gone through that process in the past? And if so, does that save you time, or you find it just easier to do it yourself?
Actually, and that's a very good question. So there's a good chance that I do use Fiverr all the time in regards to video edits, video intro, exits, those kind of things, because it's super cheap and they do a pretty good job. And, there's a ton of opportunity for what they can do. They have, they have a lot of different services. They can, write content for you, all that stuff. So by all means, check out Fiverr. I mean, it's Fiverr. I've used them for my logos. I've used them for a lot of different things. So you can definitely use them. I can also send you a link to share that actually I believe will give you up to $100 credit towards Fiverr as a new Fiverr user. So if you guys are interested in Fiverr and have never signed up for Fiverr, I can send you a link that I think it gives you $100 because I'm a Fiverr user. So if you guys are interested, just let me know and I'll send you that link to you. So that way it gives
And you have used them for your own editing? You send them videos and they've edited them for you and they send them right back?
No, again, because I started editing way early, I'm comfortable editing.
Gotcha, okay.
So I do a lot of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
own editing, but like I said, they do have that
Okay.
service, absolutely.
Gotcha, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to potentially use it to see how well it does, because if they're efficient and it turns out really well every single time, and it's $15-20, I would rather do it that way than me do it, because I know.
Well, that's my feeling. If you're doing 2 videos a week or 3, you could. I think the challenge we all have is the time in terms of learning, which I don't mind that piece, but learning it, using it, executing on it. How much time do we have that we want to put in that? If we really want to get, make this pivotal shift into video, and do 2 to 3 videos a week, again, you're looking back, time is money, and if it costs you $20 and a guy can edit that thing for 3 different platforms, you're spending 2 videos a week. And $30-40 maybe. If you get a good relationship going, maybe it's less than that if you got enough going. It seems like it'll save you a tremendous amount of time. You shoot it, you send them the raw, they send it back to you in 24, 48 hours, and you get it uploaded and you're done. Where you're off, doing what we do all day, and that's prospecting and sales and blah, blah, blah. So that was my thinking. I just wondered if you had ever utilized those services, but you've been doing it for a long time, so it's pretty easy for you.
Yeah, but by all means, it's definitely an opportunity to take advantage of a service like that. That would probably do it for you. Yeah, so I'm not against it. So I would highly recommend trying it. I mean, like I've tried so many times where I've sent them an order. A lot of times I've even gotten credit back, but even for like $15, I'm like, okay, if it turns out crappy, it's $15, right? I mean, it's not like I'm spending hundreds of dollars and then getting a horrible product. But I've actually had some really, really good levels of service with Fiverr. So definitely try that. So, all right.
Cool.
So quickly, just to mention LinkedIn, and then we're going to move on because I'm obviously running out of time. So, but really quickly, I highly recommend using LinkedIn because it's a business model. It's not so much, again, your social platform like we're used to with Instagram, Facebook, those kind of things. But LinkedIn will also generate your resources that can give you additional leads down the road. So I highly recommend that you post your business content to LinkedIn, educational videos, open houses, all that stuff to LinkedIn, because that's exactly what that is designed for. All right, so to give you a really quickly idea, just kind of what an ad campaign on Facebook has done based on a buyer lead generation. I actually did recently a campaign for buyers. I was obviously asked you who you're trying to attract, and it was buyers. I did it for only 10 days. Right. I had 3,000. Well, actually, I did it. So I had a total of 26 leads. So I did 2 different campaigns on it. So each for 10. So the first one was for 1,502 impressions. I changed a little bit of the verbiage, and then I got over 3,098 impressions. So I doubled it just by, I can't remember what I added. I think it was investing or money. I can't remember. It was something that dealt with money. And I got 140 clicks, 120. So a lot of the same clicks. And I averaged $3.57 a lead. And then on the other campaign, I got 12, which I averaged $2.08 a lead. Now, out of the 26 leads, 2 of them converted to something good. Now, nothing's closed, right? I'm still working on it. But again, I got 2 out of, let's say, 24. I mean, everybody's like, well, okay, I buy Zillow leads. So you got to compare kind of your return on investment. If I close one deal at $2, one of those deals as a buyer, or actually both of them were buyers, and I even get one to close and I make 15 grand or 10 grand or whatever, that $3 was well worth it. So like I said, creating ad campaigns can be very lucrative when it comes to lead generation by using either Facebook or like for Keller Williams, we have Command. I did this through our Command site. And it was really simple. It took me 5 minutes to create the campaign. So pretty cool. How many times should I post? We talked about that. What should I say? Content is very important, right? The idea is, and at the end of this, I've got kind of a script on how to create a video, and I'll be able to send that out to everybody that's on here, that you can literally follow step by step on how to create a video, what kind of content maybe you should look for, how to present yourself, et cetera, et cetera. You always want to have a call to action, really. Hey, call me for more information, right? You always want to kind of leave, as you notice with a lot of these good videos, they leave you with, okay, I'm wanting more, right? Hey, blah, 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 blah. But if you want more information, right, where you're just given enough, call me. And then they call you and go, okay, I've only got half of that. How do you do this, this, and this? That's what we want. We want people to call us, fill out a form, even subscribe if you want somebody to follow you based on the page. We want some kind of call to action going forward, okay? All right, so we're actually now at the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you these two things. So cool apps for productivity. So there's a lot of cool apps that you guys can use in your day-to-day things that are video-driven and some are not video-driven. Fresh Chat, which is an AI and artificial chat bot. You got Buffer, which allows all-in-one posts for social networks. So this might be something like Hootsuite. I haven't used Buffer before, but it's been highly rated. Hotjar is an analytical app that actually will give you where tracks your scroll depth and heat and your what they call heat maps. It's kind of cool is because if somebody hits your site and they scroll down, this system will track how far did they scroll down before they got off. And the heat maps tells you how long did they stay in that one location. So if they scroll down and they stayed for 2.5 minutes in a certain location, whatever was in that section they were interested in. So they were either reading, watching, or they were looking. So maybe it's a specific listing in that area. So it's kind of a cool program. Magic Plan is you can create quick floor plans, really, based on if you go in, you can use your iPad and you can literally create quick floor plans. If you're using Matterport, Matterport does the same thing, so you don't necessarily have to use Magic Plan unless you're not using Matterport. Open Home Pro is a great digital sign-in sheet. So that's something I highly recommend you do because then you can upload all those leads into your CRM database. So that way it won't, so you can actually create some efficiencies from your sign-ins, readability, and then also verification can go over to your CRM for your ongoing marketing. Boast, I mention this all the time. So for those that are not using or haven't used it, probably have heard me mention Boast. Boast.ai or IO, my apologies, is a video testimonial software. It's this link that is sent to your client. They do a quick 30-second video. It sends it back to you and you can post it. Now, video testimony is the way to do everything going forward because the statistics state that a written testimonial is worth less than the paper it's written on because nobody trusts written testimonials anymore because I can create 55 testimonials myself and put Johnny A, Barbara B, right? There's no validation to it. Then you have your next level, which is scripted testimonials. Again, they're trusted better, but they're not trusted 100% because, again, it's scripted, right? It's like, well, what did you think about John? And did he do a great job? And tell me about the process. Is very much instructed. Whereas Boast AI or IO, gosh, I'm so used to the artificial intelligence. Boast IO will give you that link that's raw and straightforward, non-scripted, coming from your client, stating how they feel about you, right? That's pretty powerful when it comes to testimonials, period. Just think about if you shared that, posted that to your website or whatever, or you posted it to your social media and said, check out another happy client. And people are watching that video going, oh my gosh, that trust factor builds you very quickly. So I highly recommend you look into a software like that, or you start doing more video testimonials. OneCloud Marketing is a marketing company that actually does your photo, video, Matterport, custom property websites, web pages, et cetera, et cetera. I use them exclusively for a lot of my stuff because they're very cost effective and they do a high quality job, especially for the money. But they do all the stuff that we've been talking about based on video, aerial photography, everything like that. So that's another thing. The other thing over is how to create a real estate video. I can send that to you. It literally goes through step by step from be unique, ask a question, add a statistic, tell a story, and then of course, as we continue to talk about, call to action. The last but not least, like I said, we have a video room. So for those that were on, we'll actually are going to go into a drawing, and then I'm going to draw a name when we get done. And for that person that gets drawn, you guys win a half day in the video room, which means that I will help you with your video content. Okay, so we can create your content creation. I will do your basic video editing. I will help you with your logo creation if you need a logo, so we can actually put that into your intro and exit. And then we'll actually produce a high-end video for you, or videos if we can do that in a half day. Well, we can do multiple videos if that's the case. And then for there, you've got all that as a package as part of being on today's class. So I'm going to put your guys' name, everybody that was on here from start to finish, into, like I said, a drawing, and then I'll have one of my front desk, my assistant, actually pull that person, and then I'll reach out to you guys. Do you guys have any questions? Nope, you guys are good?
We're good.
Awesome, guys. Like I said, I appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something out of it. Hope it answered your questions. If not, feel free to, I'm going to put into the message. If you probably got my email at some point in time, but if you have any questions or need help with anything, don't hesitate to email me. Like I said, I'm here to give you some basic advice or help you, guide you if you have questions on what to use or how to use it.
Thanks, Eric.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys have a fantastic day, okay?